Where Dallas, Texas is? Do you know where Dallas, Texas is?
No.
Well, that would be someplace for you to look up on your atlas. That's where I spent the last 5 days. I had a really fun time with some of my Indian friends that I used to know here at Western. I went to visit some of my Indian students that I had when they were here studying at Western. Like Vishalini is still studying at Western, right?
I think.
You think? Okay, well, you should look that up. You should look Macomb, Illinois up on your map too, so you know where your aunt and uncle are.
I know. Rajpal is in Chicago. I know where is the state in USA now.
Well, no, he's not in Chicago. He's in Macomb.
He said he went to another state yesterday.
Well, he may have visited there. I don't know. But he's living in Macomb, Illinois. That's where Western Illinois University is, where he went to school and where Vishalini goes to school now. Well, guess how cold it is where I live.
Too much?
Too much. It was -4 degrees this morning when I got up. -4 Celsius. That's pretty chilly, isn't it?
Yeah, from means last week we are getting a lot of rain, and from today there will be a lot of rain. The news came.
Really? Is this your rainy season?
Yes.
Oh.
A lot of rain in my own town. There, all the houses were drowning.
Really?
In Hyderabad.
Wow. So you're having some flooding?
Yes.
Oh.
Here no, but it's a lot of raining.
Okay. Well, okay. Are we going to read Heidi today?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we didn't finish that chapter we were on, did we, last time? I can't remember. Where did we finish the chapter?
Yes.
Okay. So what chapter are we reading today?
Fourth chapter.
Chapter 4?
Yes.
Okay. Can you send me the picture of those pages? Because I didn't get the book yet. I'm trying to get the book, but it's not in my library.
I can see in Amazon.
Well, I'm just gonna get it I'm just gonna get it through our library system so I don't have to buy the book. Okay. Okay, I'm getting photos. I'm getting photos. Okay. Great. That will help me. That will help me a lot when I'm reading along with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. This is a long chapter. Okay, chapter 4, The Blind Grandmother.
There are a lot of pages. I think it will be 2 days for continuing this one.
I think you might be right. There's a lot of pages. Many pages.
Yes.
Hopefully I'll get the book by next week. All right,
Every day,
go ahead.
every day, Heidi went up to the pasture with Peter. She was as free and light-hearted as a bird, and grew strong and healthy. When autumn came with its strong wind, grandfather kept her at home. Peter missed Heidi's company and her food. The goats were extra rich and disobedient. Without
Wait, let's go back. Let's go back. What is that word? Mischievous. Mischievous. Mischievous means they were not good. They were doing.
I
They were.
today
They were.
my mother said that
If
some naughty children, naughty things, naughty goats.
that's right. If you're naughty, you're mischievous and disobedient. The goats were extra mischievous and disobedient without her. Means they wouldn't mind, right? They were disobedient. Okay, go ahead.
Company and were food. The goats were extra mischievous and disobedient without her. Heidi enjoyed accompanying people, but she also enjoyed being at home with grandfather, watching him make furniture and cheese. She loved watching the fruit trees sway in the roaring wind. Peter stopped coming once the snow began. It snowed so heavily that Heidi and grandfather could not leave the hut. Heidi thought this was great fun. One afternoon, Peter slugged through the snow drifts and came to visit Heidi.
He struggled through the snowdrifts. Do you know what a snowdrift is?
No,
Well, that's when the snow is so deep and then the wind blows and makes it even deeper in some places. So that's a drift. The wind makes the snow drift and it causes it to be really deep in some places.
I think some Americans will take some 2 whole containers and they'll push it in the snow and see how many degrees it is.
Yeah, and it's hard to walk through because it's so deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so the picture, can you show the picture?
There's only the picture of the grandfather and Heidi that's going
Yeah.
to slide.
So they're on a, looks like they're on some kind of a sled or a sleigh.
Yeah, I think in USA these slides are $500.
Ooh.
Is it?
Okay, go ahead and start the next page.
As Peter sat close to the fire, the snow melted off his clothes and ran down like a waterfall. How are you doing in school? Grandfather asked Peter. Heidi bombarded Peter with questions.
Heidi bombarded. That means she just asked question after question after question after question. Her questions were really quick and she asked one right after the other. Heidi bombarded Peter with questions about school.
Heidi bombarded Peter with questions about school. Then grandfather asked Peter to join them for supper. Peter was amazed at the large piece of meat Uncle gave him to eat with his bread. As Peter prepared to leave, he said, I will come by on Sunday, if I may, he added. Grandmother said that she would like to see you, Heidi. Heidi was very excited about paying someone a visit. Every day, she said, I must certainly visit the grandmother today. She will be waiting for me. On the fourth day, which was sunny, grandfather said, come along. He skipped out into the glittering, snow-covered world and cried, Grandfather, grandfather, the fig trees are silver and gold. Grandfather dragged large
And
out
sled.
hand sled
Sleigh. It's called sleigh. Sleigh is pronounced sleigh. It's
hand sleigh.
yes.
Hand sleigh out of the shed. He got into its low seat, placed Heidi in his lap, and covered her warmly with her heavy bed cover. He held her tightly with his left arm, gasped, and his
Grasped means he took hold of it. If you grasp something, you hold on to it. He grasped. He grasped Sleigh's pole.
Sleigh's pole with his right arm and pushed forward with his legs. The sleigh slid down the mountain so fast that Heidi thought she was flying like a bird and shouted in delight. Suddenly they reached Peter's hut. Grandfather unwrapped Heidi and said, Go in. When it is dark, you must come home. He went back up the hill,
dragging the sleigh behind him. So down the mountain you could ride in the sleigh, but going back up the mountain you had to pull it. You had to get out and walk and pull the sleigh behind you.
Yes, it's too hard.
Yeah. Show the picture of the sleigh again, the hand sleigh.
I think you get a picture of it.
I've got a picture of it, but I want you to show it again. Just show so the people that are watching with us can see it. Okay, so you can see that they were sliding down the mountain on the snow. The snow is very slick, and so they can just ride down the mountain on the sleigh. But when you go back up the mountain, you have to get out and pull it behind you, right?
Big mountain.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Heidi opened the door.
Heidi opened the door and entered a tiny dark kitchen. The rooms were narrow, poor and shabby. She opened another door, found herself in a small room. A woman sat at the table, patching Peter's waistcoat. The old woman sat in the corner spinning. Heidi went up to the old woman and said, Good day, grandmother. I hope I have not kept you waiting too long. The grandmother searched for Heidi's hand and feel it. You're Heidi, the little girl who lives with us. Uncle, she asked. Yes, Heidi replied. Grandmother brought me down in the sled. Really? Asked grandmother. Your hands are warm. Brigitta,
Brigitta. Yeah, Brigitta.
Brigitta,
That's a name. Brigitta.
Brigitta. Did the uncle bring herself? Bring her himself? I don't know, mother. Peter's mother said. The child may be mistaken, but Heidi insisted. Grandfather wrapped me in my bed cover and brought me here. Maybe Peter was right about our uncle, said grandmother. Who would have thought that a little girl would be able to live with him? How is the Brigitta?
How is he, Brigitta? Do you see that question mark after the word Brigitta?
Yes.
How is he, Brigitta? You kind of raise your voice at a question mark so that we understand it's a question. How is she, Brigitta? See how I raised my voice? When you come to a question mark, you need to read that a little bit differently so that we understand it's a question. Okay, go ahead. And watch for those question marks at the end of a sentence.
How is she, Brigitta? While Peter's mother described Heidi to Grandma. Heidi looked around carefully. Heidi said, Grandmother, one of your shutters is loose. Look. It keeps banging. It's weak. The window pane. Grandfather could repair it in a moment, my dear child, said grandfather. The hut is going to pieces. I cannot see, but I can hear the wind blowing in through all the cracks and holes. At night, I am terrified that the hut will collapse until
Collapse means it'll fall. Collapse means it'll just fall in. It'll fall down. She's afraid that the hut that they live in will collapse and kill us all. Okay.
We have no one to do our repairs, as Peter does not understand such work. You can't see the shuts, grandmother Heidi asked. I can see nothing, child, the old woman said sadly. Can you see if I open the shuts
Shutter.
and let shutter, let the light
and let
Heidi.
All right, let's read that again. Can you see if I open the shutter and let in the light? Heidi asked.
No, not ever then.
Not even then. No, not even then.
What if I took you out into the bright snow? Heidi asked. Let me be, dear child, grandmother said. I have to live in darkness always. Always, darkness always. Heidi busted into tears and
sobbed. She sobbed.
Sobbed.
When you sob, really heavy crying. When you cry noisily with noise. She burst into tears and sobbed. Can
Can
no
no one makes you see like grandmother?
Okay, so she's really just discovering that grandmother is blind. Can't see anything. All right, show us the picture.
Picture.
Is okay, there was a lady in the corner spinning, making thread or yarn. Who was this lady?
Brigitta's mother.
Well, so is that the grandmother or is that Peter's mother?
Grandmother.
That's the grandmother, you think?
Yes.
Uh,
Brigitta is Peter's mother.
yes, Brigitta is Peter's mother. And I think she's the one that was spinning. I think.
Yes.
Okay. Next page. You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank
Be sure,
you.
oh, you're welcome. Be sure to pronounce all the ending sounds. Okay. Heidi seldom cried.
And when she did, she would not be consoled for a long time. Grandmother said, Heidi, it is such a comfort to hear your kind words. Come sit by me. Tell me how you and grandfather occupied yourselves. I used to know him very well before. Heidi had a happy idea. I will tell grandfather and he will set everything right for you. He will make you see the light and repair the hut. Then Heidi described her life with grandfather and her trip with Peter. Grandmother listened with great interest and asked her daughter, "Did you hear what she is saying about Uncle Brigitta?" Peter came home. He was
Astonished. Astonished. It means surprised. He was very surprised. If you're astonished, you're very surprised. So Peter was astonished.
to see Heidi there and generally
And
and
grinned.
great
He
happy.
grinned happily. What does it mean to grin?
Means he was so excitedly happy.
When you grin, you smile. Show me a smile. That's grin. He was happy. Yeah. So when you're happy, your face shows that with a grin. Right.
How the afternoon has passed. Grandma said, how are you getting on with your reading? Peter said, as you, Peter replied.
All right, let's go back. Let me read a sentence and then you repeat it, okay? So I'm going to go back to where it says how quickly. Do you see that? Do you see that? How quickly? All right, I'm going to read that and then I want you to read it after me. Here we go. How quickly the afternoon passed, grandmother said.
The afternoon has passed,
Grandmother said. How are you getting on with your reading, Peter?
How are you getting on with your reading, Peter?
Same as usual, Peter replied.
Same as usual,
Peter replied.
Peter replied.
Oh dear, said grandmother.
Oh, dear, said Gran.
You are 12 years old.
You are 12 years old.
I fear you will never learn to read.
I fear that you will never learn to read.
There is an old prayer book on the shelf with beautiful songs.
There is an old prayer book on the shelf with beautiful songs.
I was hoping that you would learn to read them to me.
I was hoping that you would learn to read them to me.
Peter's mother now rose and said, "Let me make a light."
Peter's mother now rose and said, "Let me make a light.
It is getting dark.
It is getting dark."
Next page. Heidi jumped up and said, "Grandmother, I must go home."
Heidi jumped up and said, "Grandmother, I must go home."
It is getting dark. She said
It is
goodbye.
getting dark.
She said goodbye to Peter and his mother and went to the door.
He said goodbye to Peter and his mother and went to the door.
Wait, Heidi, grandmother said anxiously. Peter will come with you.
Wait, Heidi, Grandma said. What's this
Anxiously, like she was worried. Anxiously means like you're worried. She said it in a worried way.
Anxiously, Peter will come with you.
You must wrap yourself against the cold.
You must wrap yourself against the cold.
Heidi assured her, I'm sure I will not be cold.
Heidi assured her, I am sure I will not be cold.
She rushed up the path with Peter, hurrying behind her.
She rushed up the path with Peter, hurrying behind her.
But grandfather was there in a few moments.
The grandfather was there in a few moments.
He wrapped Heidi in the cover, lifted her into his arms, and strode up the hill.
He wrapped Heidi in the cover, lifted her into his arms, and
Strode.
up the hill.
Strode means walked. He walked up the hill. He strode up the hill. When they were home, Heidi said, Grandfather, tomorrow we must take a hammer and some nails and repair grandmother's house. It shakes and rattles all over.
When they were home, Heidi said, Grandfather, tomorrow we must take a hammer and some nails to repair grandmother's house. It shakes and rattles all over.
Yes. Who says we must do that? He asked.
Who says we must do that? He asked.
Nobody, Heidi replied, but I know we must.
Nobody, Heidi replied, but I know we must.
Grandmother can't sleep at night out of fear that the house will fall on their heads.
Grandmother can't sleep at night out of fear that the house will fall on their heads.
And she cannot see the light anymore.
Thanks, she cannot see the light anymore.
I know that you can make it light for her.
I know that you can make it light for her.
She looked up at the old man with trusting eyes.
She looked at the old man with trusting eyes.
Grandfather looked at her in silence.
Grandfather looked at her in silence.
Then he said, "Yes, we will go down tomorrow and fix the shutters."
Then he said, "Yes, we will go down tomorrow and fix the shutters."
Heidi skipped about in joy.
Heidi skipped about in joy.
Right. Next page. Grandfather kept his promise.
Grandfather kept his promise.
The next afternoon, Heidi and he went down in the sleigh.
Grandfather kept his promise. The next afternoon, Heidi and he went down the sleigh. In the sleigh, Grandfather sent her inside and went around the house.
As Heidi sat talking to grandmother, heavy blows were heard on the walls.
As Heidi sat talking to grandmother, heavy blows were heard on the walls.
Grandmother shouted in fright, "Oh God, the house is going to fall on us."
Grandmother shouted in fright. Oh,
Right.
fright.
Right.
Oh God, the house is going to fall on us.
But Heidi calmed her and said, "It is grandfather with his hammer."
But Heidi calmed her and said, "It is grandfather with his hammer. He's making repairs to the house."
"Really?" said grandmother.
Really, said grandmother.
"God is kind."
God is kind.
"Brigitta, go and tell the Alm uncle to come inside so that I can thank him."
Brigitta, go and tell our uncle to come inside so that I can thank him.
Brigitta went out to the old man and said, "Uncle, mother and I thank you for your services."
Brigitta went out to the old man and said, "Uncle, mother, and I thank you for your services."
He interrupted her. "I know what you think of me. Go in. I can find what needs mending on my own." He interrupted her. It means he stopped her from talking.
He interrupted her. "I know what you think of me. Go in. I can find what needs mending on my own."
Right. Grandfather continued hammering around the house.
Grandfather continued hammering around the house.
He even climbed the roof and made repairs.
He even climbed the roofs and made repairs.
Finally, he had to stop because he had used up all the nails.
Finally, he had stopped because he had used up all the needles.
When it was dark, he carried Heidi back home, warm and safe, in his arms.
When it was dark, he carried Heidi back home, warm and safe in his arms.
Every fine day in winter, grandfather took Heidi to visit grandmother.
Every fine day in winter, grandfather took Heidi to visit grandmother. Heidi was joy of blind woman's life.
Grandfather spent the afternoons repairing the hut.
Grandfather spent afternoon repairing the hut.
It was now sound and tight.
It was now sound and tight.
And grandmother was able to sleep peacefully at night.
Grandmother was able to sleep peacefully at night.
Okay, so after grandfather repaired the hut, they said it was now sound and tight. Sound means that the hut was strong and it wouldn't fall in, and tight means that all the places where the wind could come in and make the inside cold, those were all fixed so the wind would not come in. Okay?
Yes.
All right, so let's take a look at the picture. And there's grandfather carrying Heidi up the hill, back up to their place, back up to their hut. Is that the end of the chapter?
Yes, we're done for today.
We're done. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That
Got everything. I forgot there's a lot of pages, and I'm talking, and I finished the chapter today.
yes, well, you did a really nice job. And so maybe we'll do this a little bit more when I read and then you read, because I want you to listen to the way that I pronounce the words, right? You're trying to learn how to pronounce English words a little bit differently than what you're used to. So I think if you listen to my voice carefully and listen to how I pronounce the words, that will help you. All right? Okay, well, next time, let's see, that will be Friday. We'll meet Friday and we'll read chapter 5, right?
Yes.
All right. Are you getting tired?
A little tired.
Yeah, you've had a long day.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're gonna have dinner, right?
No, I have to go to shopping because on Saturday my mother is getting a holiday, and she said she'll make me a chocolate cake. That's why we're going to buy eggs and flour and some Hershey's chocolate and
Ooh,
chocolate.
ooh, that sounds really good. All right, well, I'll see you on
And we're
Friday.
going to buy a hot simple cake bowl for its
Okay.
fat.
Oh, wow, that sounds wonderful. Will you help her?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you need to learn how to make all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, you have a good evening, and I'll see you on Friday, okay? All right, bye-bye for now.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice day.